am I the only one aroused right now? It's like, you know what I'm saying?
In the age of modern Hollywood, it's rare to get a movie that focuses on providing entertainment to the audience rather than force the message down your throat. John Wick was a simple story about a recently widowed man who is secretly one of the world's best assassins. After his former employer's son kills his dog and steals his car, John Wick becomes the infamous Baba Yaga once again and seeks revenge. It was simple, it was action-packed, it was concise, and it was definitely awesome.
Yeah! Woo!
What followed were two movies that continue John Wick's journey of revenge as he is pulled back into an Illuminati criminal underworld. We get a clearer picture of how the criminal underworld works and operates on an international level, and John's ability to make anything a weapon, from guns and knives to horses and cars. John Wick is pushed to the limit, and after being betrayed multiple times, he sets out to seek revenge once again in John Wick Chapter 4.
That's good.
Like its predecessors, Chapter 4's plot is simple, concise, and filled with high-octane action. John is no longer riding the red, and has been building himself up with the help of the Bowery King. His mission, to take revenge on the High Table by any means necessary. Meanwhile, the High Table gives one of their senior members, the Marquis Vincent de Gaumont, unlimited resources to take down John Wick once and for all. This includes enlisting the help of John Wick's former friend Kane, a blind retired assassin, and a bounty hunter named Mr. Nobody. From Osaka, Japan to Berlin, Germany to Paris, France, John Wick and his allies clash against Vincent and his forces in a game of revenge and survival. And man, what a ride.
Yeah! Woo!
John Wick Chapter 4 brings a satisfying end to the Baba Yaga story. Keanu Reeves embodies a John Wick that is at the top of his game, going through hordes of enemies with far more precision and determination than we've seen before. At the same time, we see a tired, weathered John seeking peace at the end of the path he's on. Bill Skarsgård as the Marquis was both entertaining and interesting as a villain, partially because he's less of a formidable foe and more of a man seeking validation and ascension in the criminal underworld. Which says something about the world, that even those at the top still fight for more power. The Marquis is essentially that one rich kid who peacocks his position, from the flashy clothing he wears to how he'll buy out an entire museum just to observe one painting. This guy's a total prick. Donnie Yen as Kane was awesome. Not only is he a sympathetic character, but his unique fighting style as a blind assassin was interesting. I also liked how Donnie Yen has played a blind character twice, and both times his character was one of the best characters in the movie. Shamir Anderson as Mr. Nobody was a surprise. He's essentially the assassin with the dog in this movie, but what makes him interesting is that he is a true neutral character, who starts off as a hunter only out for the money, and slowly evolves throughout the movie, and I hope we get to see him in his own standalone movie. Lawrence Fishburne as the Bowery King, Hiroyuki Sanada as the Osaka Continental Manager, Scott Adkins as Killer Harkin, and Ian McShane as the New York Continental Manager, played smaller roles but further added to the world. Also, I believe this is Lance Reddick's last role due to his untimely passing, which is a shame because his character's fate is unfortunately ironic. Chapter 4 is a 3-hour movie, and while some may deem any movie longer than 2 hours too long, the long length was necessary for this movie. Action scenes are elongated and separated by little dialogue and plot setting. But not for a second was I bored or eager for the movie to end. Yes, action scenes are far longer than the norm, but diversity is added to the scenes to keep things fresh. They went all out in this movie as characters use a variety of weapons and objects to provide new and unique ways of fighting. Bows and arrows, cane swords, nunchucks, cars, motorcycles, even dragon breath shotgun rounds. Characters are not invincible, adding realism. There's even a scene involving a female assassin who is hindered by the limitations of being weaker compared to the male character she has to fight. And the movie isn't afraid to show this while implementing methods of her fighting style and how she can best stronger characters without making her look weak. And this authenticity and believability is incorporated throughout the movie and its action scenes. Combined with expert cinematography and direction, such as long sequences of actions with very little to no edits and cuts and overhead isometric camera angles, John Wick Chapter 4 provides one of the best action movies of the 21st century. John Wick Chapter 4 and the rest of the franchise shows that you don't need expensive CGI or an over-convoluted plot. Sometimes you just need a simple premise, a good director with a vision, and effort from all sides of the movie production to create a satisfying cinematic experience. John Wick will stand as a thorn in the modern Hollywood, and this franchise will be studied by aspiring directors and producers. And though Chapter 4 brings a conclusion to John Wick as the Baba Yaga, we're still getting a spin-off called Ballerina, meaning we'll be getting more high-octane action. Please comment below, as I'd like to hear your own thoughts about John Wick Chapter 4. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. My name is Deviant, and thanks for watching.